Hey leaders, I want to thank you again for just jumping into this episode. And today we want to talk about how you can continue to discover your sweet spot, your purpose, your great contribution to this world by looking at specifically what your abilities are. Let's go. So in this episode today, I really want to establish some tools that I think would really help you gain clarity around your abilities as a leader. Now, the framework that we're operating from are these three circles, which really highlight the three areas that you need to focus on and have clarity on so that you can better understand your purpose. Now, if you've missed the passion episode, I'm going to link that just above so you can take a look at that, where we've already dealt with how you can understand what fuels you the most. But now we really want to dive into understanding, what can I do best? What are your abilities? And really, in order to do this, we want to take a look at some very simple, basic, but significantly popular tools out there that will really help you understand your abilities. And the three that I want to go over in today's episode are, number one, the strengthfinders, number two, the Enneagram, and then number three, the ability 360. Now, the strengthfinders is not a new tool to any of us. Many of us know about the strengthfinders. We're familiar with it. This was a tool that was developed some 50 years ago from Dr. Donald Clifton, who really sought to discover what produces great performance. And what he determined was that there are essentially 34 strengths that an individual has that will determine what high performance is for that person. Now, I just want to say on the front side, no one is strong in all 34. That's not the purpose of this tool, nor is this the purpose of this tool to help you identify your weakest ones and then to try to help you build up on those to build them up to make them stronger. No, the purpose of this tool is to help you identify your top 5 or 6 strong strengths, the gifts and the abilities that you are really strong in. And then we want you to lean into those strengths. Like, I want you to get this. We want you to lean into the strengths that you are already good at, because the idea is that it's called strengths finder, not weakness finder, not average finder, but we want to know what you're already strong in, and then we want to help you leverage those strengths. And so he created these 34, he discovered these 34 strengths, and he categorized these 34 strengths into 4 domains. And that's what I want to go over right now. There is the strategic thinking domain, there is the relationship building domain, there is the influencing, and then there is the executing domain. And each one of these 34 are categorized into these 4 subdomains: strategic thinking, relationship building, influencing, and executing. And once you understand what your top 5 or 6 strengths are and where they fall into these 4 subdomains, then you can better understand, wow, okay, this is what I'm good at. I'm good at strategic thinking. I have a strength in relationship building. I'm good at influencing people, or I'm good at executing. And the idea is that once you identify what your strengths are and which domains they predominantly fall in, then you start to lean into that strength. Not trying to build up a weaker area, but no, lean into that strength. So if you're really good at relationship building, then you need to leverage all of your relationship building skills to continue to grow as a leader. If you're really good at strategic thinking, then I want you to leverage all of your strategic thinking skills to continue to grow as a leader. And so Strengthfinders is one tool that I believe is excellent in helping individuals discover who they are and what their abilities are. Another tool that I use, and I personally, this is probably my favorite, is the Enneagram. And the Enneagram is a little less known, I think, than Strengthfinders, though I believe that it is gaining some popularity. And so the Enneagram is a tool that is really, it's hundreds of years old from what I can tell. It has its roots in like Judeo-Christian history, but I would say over the last 50 years, it has been popularized by a number of individuals, a number of thought leaders who have started using it more and more. Now, let me just say that the Enneagram is a wonderful tool, not so much to help you discover your strengths. I think Strengthfinders does that. The Enneagram is really here to help you understand how you move through life. What is your personality? Some might consider it the Myers-Briggs, a version of the Myers-Briggs or something along those lines. I think it's different than the Myers-Briggs. I think the Enneagram is really a strong tool because it helps you to see this is what a healthy you looks like, this is what an average you looks like, and this is what an unhealthy you looks like. Now, the Enneagram is broken down into 9 types, and I'm not going to go over all of them right now, but I'm going to just put the graphic up so that you can see them. There are essentially 9 types, and each one of you will have a predominant type, and then you will have a wing. Now, a wing means that your main type might be a 1, for example, but then you are a 1 with a 2 wing, or a 1 with a 9 wing, or a 6 with a 5 wing, or a 6 with a 7 wing. And the whole idea behind this dominant type and then this wing is that the dominant type is kind of who you are at your core. It's how you move through life, but then you are also influenced by this wing that is on either side of your dominant type. Now, I just want to tell you, I use the Enneagram in my family. My wife and I use it. I use it on my church with my staff. I recommend it to my leadership clients. We use the Enneagram. I think the Enneagram is just a really great tool to better help you understand how you move through life. Now, I also want to say that there are tons of books and resources and podcasts out there about the Enneagram. So, I'll link a few down below, but all you really have to do is do a quick Google search and tons of information will pop up about it. And then there are several different companies that provide these tools and these assessments. For the Strengthfinders, I think it's about $30, $40 to get the Strengthfinders test. For the Enneagram, it ranges anywhere from $11 all the way up to $160, depending on which company you go with and how detailed of a report you want. The third thing that I want you to do as you're trying to really get clarity around your abilities is this thing that I call the Ability 360. And the Ability 360 is really simple. Essentially, what I want you to do is I want you to take out your phone and I want you to text 4, 5, or 6 people that you're close with. Maybe your spouse, maybe a parent, maybe 2 or 3 coworkers, maybe some friends of yours. And I just want you to ask them, hey, I'm trying to better understand what my abilities are. Could you just share with me 1 or 2 things that you think I'm really good at? Like, what are some things that I'm really good at? Now, I also want you to ask them, once they give you those 1 or 2, 3 things that they think you're really good at, I also want you to ask them, what are 1 or 2 things that I think I'm good at, but you don't think I'm good at? Now, I want to just warn you, this is potentially, it could be a trigger for some people because you're essentially getting feedback that, is going to be challenging for you. And the person that you're reaching out to may not want to give you that feedback. So for that one, text message might not be the best approach. A better approach might be to take them out to coffee or to call them on the phone and to ask 2 or 3 people, hey, we're really good friends. You know me really well. Where am I an overrater? Like, what areas of my life do I give you the impression that I'm better at than I really am? And I'm not going to rebuttal you. I'm not going to tell you to well, this is why I do it. I'm not going to justify myself. I just want to hear your opinion. And once you're done sharing with me your opinion, I'm going to say, thank you for sharing. So these are 3 things that you can do. Strengthfinders, Enneagram, and the Ability 360 are 3 tools that you can use that can help you gain clarity around your abilities. Now, if you've noticed, both of these are really, obviously the Enneagram and Strengthfinders are self-assessments. The Ability 360, you're asking other people their opinions, but your abilities, clarity around your abilities will really come as you engage people and ask people around you, what do you think my strengths are? What do you think my abilities are? That's where a lot of clarity comes. A lot of us, we are too close to the forest to see the trees. No, it's too close to the trees to see the forest. We're just too close to the situation. And so I want to encourage you to get some perspective, ask some people, take some assessments. Others of you out there, you might say, well, I'm not really into Strengthfinders or Enneagram. I'm more into Insights or DISC or Myers-Briggs or the Colby. There's tons of assessments out there. Find one that works for you. I just know that the few that have worked well for me and that I recommend are StrengthFinders and the Enneagram. So I would love for you to let me know what your strengths are. What are your top 5 StrengthFinders reports? Or what is your Enneagram number? I would love for you to leave it in the comments below and let me know so that we can continue to grow together and gain clarity around what is our calling, what is our purpose, and what is our sweet spot. Have a wonderful day.